Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back to another one of my video. Today is actually another product review video, and today's video I think is one of the most important videos that I've brought you guys in a long time. Now, the product reviews that I do tend to be about products that you're going to use, very common, and you need as kind of a DIY repair person yourself. And I've been doing a lot of reviews on things like a circuit probe tester, which is important, and you really need to have in your garage. I've done other products like a scan tool before, but I was thinking to myself, let's go a step above and beyond and show a scan tool that's affordable. And before I talk about the scan tool that I'm going to be bringing you guys today, which is really cool, and I'm actually going to be showing two different types, I thought to myself, let me tell you guys why scan tools are really important to begin with, and why do we need scan tools in today's car industry and when we're working on our cars today. The sole reason for it is the dominance that computers have now on automobiles. I remember going back to Lebanon and looking at my uncle's 1990s Opel Vectra. And that thing, I'm not even kidding, I can't even remember, the only electrical thing I can remember from that is the headlights and taillights. Like, that's it. The windows, it didn't even have power locks, nothing was just electronic or carbureted. Very little wiring. In fact, when you open the engine bay, you don't see wiring harnesses. You see, air hoses and a bunch of hoses going around the car. And, in that car, you didn't really need any sort of electronic help to diagnose a car. You kind of just knew it. Older cars were a little bit simpler to work on and things like that. But I'm going to show you guys why maybe newer cars are actually a little bit more simpler to work on. And that's because of the use of technology. Now, if you use that 1990s Opel Vectra and you compare it to this 2013 Mazda 6, there's a lot more electronic things happening in here. And the reason for it is the dominance and the really volatile market that the auto industry kind of goes through. In my opinion, the auto industry is one of the most competitive markets that's out there. And the reason I can say that is because just imagine a car company, any car company, is using old technology, right? So if you're an automaker and you're using yesterday's technology in today's cars while everyone else is using today's technology and really upgrading, you're going to fall behind and nobody's going to buy your car. And so automakers constantly are pushing new technological features in their vehicles: heated steering wheel, heated seats, power everything. And and that electronic and technology components also are making their ways to engines and transmissions as well. And what's happened because of that is your engine now is controlled by a computer. Your transmission is controlled by a computer. Everything is controlled by a computer, by wires, and by a bunch of sensors. And those sensors report back to that computer. And so, it might be simpler when you have a bunch of sensors that are sending all of this information back to a computer, that if one of the sensors detects something bad, you can go to the computer and say, hey, what's up? What can I fix? Which beats the hell out of opening the hood and kind of guessing, or doing a bunch of unnecessary work on a vehicle and doing a bunch of guesswork and throwing a bunch of money at cars when you can just simply consult your computer on the car. And so that's kind of the reason why these scan tools are super important. And what these scan tools do is they plug into an OBD port in your car, and this will work on any car 1996 to current, and it'll be there for the future. And it will tell you what the computer thinks the problem is with your car. For instance, you might have a misfire, and then it'll tell you, oh, well, I recommend you change the spark plugs on the car. It's convenient, right? And that's kind of why I say maybe this new technological features on car makes repairing cars a lot easier, because there's all of these sensors that are relaying information back to a computer, back to a brain of a car, telling it what's wrong with it. And so that is the importance of why you need a scan tool, especially if you're a DIY person, and especially if you're saving yourself money. Because again, you don't want to open the hood of your car and not, and just throw a bunch of parts on it, or not be able to have a really good idea of what's happening, or use the old school method of listening and things like that, which are good methods. but can be made a lot simpler if you just plug in a tool and it tells you what's wrong with the car. Now the problem with scan tools have always been reliability, and they've been price. Now price-wise, they've always been expensive. You can even go to Harbor Freight, the place where tools are supposed to be insanely cheap, and you'll still spend about $100, $150 to get yourself a decent scan tool. And if you go online, they're even more expensive. And there are some scan tools that are in the thousands of dollars. And in fact, the repairman here locally in Peoria, he's got a scan tool that's $8,000, which is just insane. That's a car. So, you know, I thought to myself, we can't afford $8,000, especially if we're DIY people, right? We do DIY to save money. We don't want to spend $8,000. And so I told myself I got to go find my viewers a scan tool for under $40. $40, that's a reliable price, right? And on top of that, it's a tool that you're going to be able to reuse over and over and over again, and it's going to stay updated with the times that are coming. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So if you guys have seen any of my previous videos, you guys have seen that I've talked about these two different types of scan tools in particular. This is the CRP 129. It'll set you back about $250, $200, depending on which distributor you buy them from. And this is my Centec that I actually bought from Harbor Freight, and this cost me $100. And I thought to myself, that could be a little expensive. Why not find a scan tool for half the price? Heck, let's try to find a scan tool for even less than half the price. And if we come over here, after doing a bunch of research, I found a company called JD-101, and I can only assume that Diag stands for diagnosis. And they're sold by a seller on Amazon called Ysding or Ysding or something like that. I hope I didn't butcher their name. Of course, I'll have the store and the links to all of these linked in the description below. And they sent me out two different kind of scan tools that they have. This is called their JD-101, and this is called their FasLink M1. Now they're a bit different. They actually sent me two of these FasLink M1s. But these are two different scan tools sold by the same seller, same company as well, both by JD-101, and they are really cool. And the best part about them is they are not super expensive. This is $32 and this is $28 or $29. And so that is super affordable. Of course, they have free shipping, free 2-day shipping if you buy them from the Amazon store, which is such a blessing to get things in 2 days. And I'm going to be showing you guys what these scan tools can actually do. So let's get unpacking these, and we're first of all going to start with this JD-101. So first of all, we're going to be doing this JD-101. And first of all, just by opening the package, it's made out of thick cardboard, which is really cool. I've always been a big fan of packaging, guys. I always tell this to the marketing people that I go to college with. Packaging is like one of the most important things about marketing, because if a company uses good packaging, generally means it's a precedent to what's about to come in their product, because companies who are doing cheap products won't spend the extra money to get fancy packaging. But getting to the scan tool, it's got an OBD port. I would have liked to see maybe a cover on here to protect the pins, but that's no problem. It's got 4 buttons, and I think there was a solution manual in here. Oh, there is. There's a solution manual, which we're not going to use because there's only 4 buttons, so how hard can that be? We're going to be testing this on the car soon. It's actually a really nice device. It's pretty heavy, and again, it's only got 4 buttons, so I really don't see the purpose to have a owner's manual, but just... Oh, wow, it's in different languages, too. Brilliant. So, yeah, good solutions manual, but we're not going to use that. So let's kind of get into the car, and let's test this JD-101 scan tool. So, guys, we're inside of my 2013 Mazda 6S GT, and I've actually got the scan tool hooked up right here. Let me see if it can focus a bit better. And we've got a down arrow, so we've got diagnosis. It's actually got a battery tester. Let's actually test this. This is a used car. Battery life good. It's got 11.186 volts right now. This is really good. It's got a battery tester. Battery is in good condition. I'd like to hear that. Now, of course, this car does not have a check engine light, and I was really thinking about, pulling the mass airflow sensor out or something like that. just to read it, but I think you all get the point. We'll go into diagnostics here. So it's got 0 codes found. Let's see, read codes, stored codes, no codes pending. That's good. Okay. This is a very fast scan tool as well. I mean, it tested that battery out super quickly. Do I have any permanent codes? Of course, before I bought the car, I took a scan tool with me to test everything out. I always love this feature on scan tools where you can read like live data, so you can run around in your car and kind of test spark and all sorts of timing and things like that. And it's a really cool feature to have, and it's amazing that this scan tool can do it. Again, it's really fast. This is actually very impressive. In fact, I reckon it's a lot faster than my CRP is when scanning things. And so again, it's got the battery voltage. Let's see, it's got RPMs. Wow. I think that's voltage yet again. Seems to like voltage. Oh, wow. So we can test even the automatic transmission in here, which this is an automatic transmission. Wow. So you can actually test automatic transmission and the engine on this. That is actually really cool. Again, I'm in love with this battery tester. I actually do have a battery tester that I bought for about $30. So, that just goes to show you how well of a tool this is, because you could just buy a battery tester that will have no function apart from testing your battery. Or you could buy a scan tool that'll test your battery and will do scan tools for it for about the same price. And again, I'm in love with this diagnostics function, and that you can do engine and transmission. That is really, really, really cool. I must have skipped over and pressed it too fast. So you can do automatic engine and then automatic transmission. Very, very cool. I am so impressed by this scan tool. And this is really all you need. Now, if you were to have a code, let's just say, so you go to diagnostics and you'd go into read codes, it would usually tell you something like code PO430 or something like that. And then, you could click it again to give you what it recommends as a fix for it, or you can just take the code, which I like to do, and I just type it into Google, type in the year, make, model of the car, and there's there is always some sort of forum that discusses it. But super quick, and again, it's $38, which is a steal considering that it also has a battery tester inside of it. So very, very impressive. But I think that the next tool you guys are going to like is going to wow you even more. So let's get onto that scan tool. So you might realize that the quality of the camera has changed a bit, and that's because I'm using my S7 Edge now to record, because I'm going to need my S8 app operated. And you might be wondering, oh, well, I don't know where to download the app from. No problem. You just go to your camera. Now on my S8 I've got Bixby, and Bixby actually knows that this is a barcode. So when you go into your camera and you just get close to it, Bixby automatically recognizes that, okay, that's a barcode, and it'll take you straight to the app, and literally all you have to do is press install. Now when you get there, you're going to realize that there are a bunch of options. You can sign in. I think this FasLink M1 is a really cool device, and the reason I say it is because I think that it really caters for the new audience and the new generation of people that are working on their vehicles. As we know, as times continue to move on, prices become cheaper, right? There's always companies that want to bring you the cheapest product, and there's always a market for cheap products. And what FasLink has done is said, okay, this new generation, they love their phones, they love cheaper products, so let's give them a scan tool that's exactly that. And being the $4 or $5 that it is cheaper than the JD-101, and the fact that you can use your phone while working on your car will appeal to many people. And I think it's simpler too. I think it's great because it doesn't have a screen. It doesn't have all that cords that the JD-101 has. So therefore, there's a lot less that can go wrong with it. So it's a little bit more of a simpler design. By being more technological, it's somehow become more simpler. And enough of that. Let's go put this on the car and test and see what it can do. I've got the scan tool already plugged in to the OBD2 port. If we go to this FasLink app and we click this Bluetooth button, we go to M1, and you can scan for the tool to make sure that you're connected to it. And then you've got access to all of these amazing features that this product has to offer. So we can press the DTC button. Again, really quick. We can see the stored, pending, and any permanent codes that are there. We can do the fault code dictionary. So if you have a code and you want to inquire more about it, so like code P0420, which is like a catalytic converter issue, we'll type that in, see if it reads it correctly. Code P0420. Find the fault. My internet connection, maybe I should go on data. There we go. So as you can see here, it says, okay, catalytic system efficiency. Okay, so it is catalytic converter. It does say that it's only available like on Land Rover models, which that's not true. But still pretty impressive. So it will tell you what the code talks about. Again, it's got a battery checker. Look how quick this is. It just loads insanely fast. It's telling me I've got 11.46 volts, which is good. Would have liked to see maybe the actual battery icon rather than like a AA battery, but that's no issue. You can do fuel consumption. This is in kilometers, which is, you know, not that beneficial here in the US, but over here we've got an acceleration test. Now this is excellent right here. So this is actually really cool. So you can start testing. I'm assuming you... Okay, so it's going to test and see where you... when you start accelerating and get your best 0 to 100, because this is in kilometers, so 100 kilometers would be 60 miles an hour. Firmware upgrade. So, and this is a really cool feature that I think JDiag does correctly. So with all of this technology that cars have, it's important to have a scan tool that can continue to be updated. And the reason for it is, well, more electronics, more sensors means more codes that could potentially occur. And if you have a scan tool from 2010 and it's 2018 right now, that's 8 years worth of new sensors and new technology and new codes that probably aren't in your older car. So you need to make sure that you have a scan tool that can continuously update and accommodate for them. And as you can see, I've got the current version, which is the V0. But there is a version 1 available, so I'll have to start the update. I won't do it on camera. But it's very impressive. Of course, you can still do live data. So we can take like engine coolant temperature, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, I would have... That's weird. They put it in Fahrenheit. But the miles per hour is in... Okay, so we can do imperial. Pretty cool. So now it should be in Celsius. There we go. So it does accommodate for it. It won't do miles per hour, which is a bit weird, but you know, you can... It's got a lot of really cool things. Again, great advertising right here for the JD-101. But no, overall, really good scan tool. I mean, again, you can do all the battery functions. You can do everything that JD-101 can do, but it looks like the difference between them is really just the app compared to, you know, just the plug-in. Guys, wrapping up this video, I want to thank Ysding, first of all, for sending me these two scan tools. They have been super kind to me. They have an amazing marketing team. Hit them up. They're really kind people, super knowledgeable about the products they sell, which is always nice to see. And, you know, they will, of course, answer any of your questions that you might have about these scan tools. I was just thinking you know, another reason why this FasLink M1 is such a hit, in my opinion, is because, you know, a lot of this new generations that can't stay off of their phone, you know, they'd be more than happy to save $5 and, you know, they'd rather have a scan tool in a Starbucks in the morning than, you know, have a JD-101. That's kind of what I was thinking. So really, thank you, JDAG, for, you know, catering to all markets, I guess. But in all seriousness, you know, they're really good scan tools no matter which one you buy. They'll do the job just fine. If I didn't answer your specific question in this video, please leave a comment below and ask that question. I or one of the representatives from JD-101 will probably respond to you. And I guess the only nitpicky part that I have is I would have liked to seen them scan airbags. I thought that would have been really cool, but I also understand that airbag scan tools cost upwards of $200. And sometimes when you have an airbag light, if you don't know what you're doing, the best might be to take it into a shop, because you really don't want to mess around with that. You don't want to be driving one day and an airbag just pops out on you. So a minimal, design thing they could probably change, but in all honesty, you're really getting a lot for your money. And with both of these combined at $60, there's really not much out there that really competes with the price tag that JD-101 brings you. So I hope you guys found these products as valuable as I did. I know I'm going to be using them on my future car repairs. And like I said, leave a comment below if you have any questions. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.